Hey y'all, I just wanted to give y'all an update on what's been going on. Um, it kind of backs up to earlier this year, all leading up to this point, what happened yesterday. So I kind of just want to talk about that and let you know how I am now. So 2023 sucks. This year is horrible. I hate this year. This year is just bad. Um, Not last month in November, but the year before, I was baptized at church. And I know when you get closer to God, the devil attacks you harder because now you have a target on your back, and he does any and everything he can to manipulate and deceive you, and he's really good at it. And I believe that he kind of scored on that one when it came to me. Uh, so things were going pretty good through last Christmas and through the beginning of the year. And then after rodeo season in March is when things kind of started sucking. Um, I was supposed to go back to Vegas this year to do a military bowling tournament, and the only way I could go and afford it is if me and my buddy went together. Well, he ended up dropping out because he said he couldn't afford it and was going to focus on his own self or whatever. Um, well, that irritated me. I was in a bad mood at the time that he told me, so we ended up getting into an argument. And long story short, I ended up losing my friend because I couldn't handle it at the time, and I've apologized to him, and he kind of brushed it off. But then he's since then blocked me and whatever. I was pretty good friends with this guy for about 3 years. He's another veteran and was hiding in a shell like a hermit crab, and I somehow was able to pull him out of that. Just me being me. And so it was cool that he got to come out and, I guess see the world and quit, hibernating and isolating. Anyway, let's fast forward a little bit from there. I finished my spring semester at school, had a few weeks off, and then my summer semester started. And normally we have two 8-week classes for a total of 16 weeks, but over the summer, it's two 6 weeks classes for a total of 12. I don't know why Lone Star College did this, but they took off the second summer session. So 12 weeks, then dropped to 6. So that reminds me of my military days, being a reservist guardsman. What active duty does every single day, or over a course of 30 days, the guard reservists have to do it in 2 days, that 1 day drill. So you're really cramming a lot into very little. So the summer classes went from 12 to 6 weeks, and then during the summer we had holidays like the 4th of July. We had power outages at the school and stuff. So we ended up losing a whole nother week. So really, 12 weeks crammed down to 5. It was very tough. I've been in school for a long time. I've got a lot of education, and I've always been able to succeed easily. Well, I don't say easily, with struggles, but I've always made great grades. I rarely made anything under an A. With a summer class, and I'm a pretty quick learner, I started struggling. Not only was I struggling, the other students in the class that were also straight A students was also struggling. I almost quit 3 times. The school really, 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 really challenged and pushed me almost over my limits, to the point where I almost quit 3 different times in a 5-week period, twice in the same week almost. It just put me into a depression though, because I just felt like I wasn't good enough and I couldn't catch on. But it wasn't just me. And when I realized that other students were not failing, but weren't able to keep up as well, it wasn't us. It was the curriculum and the speed that it was going. It was going way too fast. So anyway, I needed a break. And so instead of going to Vegas for the military bowling tournament, I used what money I had on my end to take a vacation and go to Arizona. And I went out there to go see who I, at the time, called my best friend. Um, so I left class, literally went straight to the airport and flew to Arizona. Went out there for an attempt at 2 weeks, and I had talked to my friend. I knew he drank. Um, I didn't know that he didn't really know how to control it though. When I got out there, even before I left, I asked him not to drink when he was with me because I know how he gets from talking to him over the phone. But we got out there. He disrespected me. He did not, uphold my wishes. And not only did he drank a lot, and he stole from me. And when I confronted him about it, he lied to my face about it. And I've known this guy for 9 years. We've talked about any and everything together, many, many, many hours and hours and hours on the phones. And I just felt like the entire friendship was just ruined because he has a bad alcohol problem. That was his priority, and I saw his true colors when I was there in person. I didn't realize it was that bad. But I said, dude, you need to change. And he's like, pretty much, don't tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want. And I was like, fine, dude. Well, you know what? I want nothing to do with this. So I chose to end the friendship, and I pretty much broke up with him. And I was like, dude, I'm done here. If you're going to choose alcohol and stay in this miserable victim life, then I'm out. And I pretty much broke off the friendship. And that hurt because he was a really good friend of mine when it came to, just being friends. I mean, outside of the stupid drinking that he did all the time. So that was pretty tough. And the whole reason going to Arizona is because I was so stressed and depressed at school that I needed an out. I needed to get away. I needed to relax. I needed to go have some fun and just forget about reality for a while. And when I went out there, the complete opposite happened. All he did was cause way more drama and way more stress than I needed. And so it honestly kind of sucked. I mean, I ended up doing a lot of things alone versus with him because of his actions. And I was just really, really pissed about it because he didn't help the situation. He just made it 10 times worse. So I really didn't get the break that I needed. I came back home. I ended up going to Dallas one weekend. And if you saw my videos from a few months ago, I went to my childhood home, the same place where I found my mom dead when I was 5 years old. And I've been back in that house many, many, many times, but I've never told that story at the house where it happened at. And when I went in this old rundown abandoned house, I don't know, it's like something told me to just tell the story as I was video documenting the house. And so as I told the story, I literally relived it 30 years later, like it happened all over again. And it like opened up a wound that I thought had been sealed shut. And it felt like it was fresh and brand new. And that's something I had struggled with for the last 30 years. And I didn't know that was going to happen. So that really affected me pretty bad. And I try to use a lot of my skills to help cope and get over it and stuff. There's videos, just go back through my YouTube and you can find those. There's two of them. One's like a 6-minute video and the other's like a 30-minute video of what I was going through that day. Anyway, about, I want to say a week or two later, a cousin of mine passed away on my dad's side. My real dad, that lives in Georgia. I had a cousin, he just turned 18. He was killed in a drive-by shooting, and I didn't know about it. And when I found out about it, I had asked my dad if he knew, and he did, and asked him when he knew, and he said the day before. And I asked him why he didn't tell me, and he just said that it wasn't his place to do so, which makes zero sense. Dude, I'm your son. It's kind of your place to tell me that we had a family member pass away, because the cousin, his dad that lost his son, he was just so shocked and torn up by what happened. I didn't expect him to reach out. I didn't really talk to him that much anyway. I wasn't too terribly upset about my dad not telling me. It's what happened after me asking him that what happened, because he kind of just went off on me and basically saying, well, you need to go talk to your therapist and you got issues and get off your high horse and it's not all about you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Just because I asked you, why didn't you tell me? And so he turned this little thing into a big something that didn't need to be. So I was like, whatever, dude. I'm pretty pissed because this was a week after my mom's issue. I call that my mama trauma. That scab was ripped open, and then yeah, like a week later, my cousin dies, and then I'm already not really in the mood to deal with anybody at all. I don't care if you're my wife, my kids, my dad, especially if you're just a friend or an acquaintance or somebody I don't even know. I was ready to go off on anybody. I don't care. I was a ticking time bomb ready just to explode. And that's kind of exactly what happened with my dad. I just went off on him and saying basically I would never treat any of my kids the way that you're treating me, the things that you're saying to me. And so I said, you know what, you can come talk to me whenever you decide to calm down. Anyway, fast forward another couple weeks. I went to a concert to go see Garth Brooks in New Orleans. And I was hoping that he would play the song The Dance, which he did, because that was my mom's favorite song. And I just felt like I just like relived, my mom a little bit just the month before. And so it was really cool to be able to hear that song live for the first time, the only time I've ever heard it live by Garth Brooks. Anyway, I was driving back from New Orleans, and this was a few weeks after my cousin passed away. So me and my dad both had time to calm down, and I was bored and I wanted to talk to, because it was a 5-hour drive. And so I was surprised he actually answered the phone when I called, and he's like, what do you want? And I wanted to talk to him about why I was so pissed off and why I kind of somewhat went off on him about my cousin dying, because I was dealing with my mama's issues. And he said, well, before you even start, you need to hear this. And that he unleashed on me. He said some very mean things. And I sat there for, no joke, 30 to 45 minutes quiet, just listening. And then he finally got done. He's like, now, what is so damn important you got to tell me? And as I started to say what I was going to say, and I was going to get to an apology, because I know I was wrong. And I know when I'm wrong, and I feel like I should be the bigger person and go apologize, I will. And in this moment, I did, because I felt like I shouldn't have went off on him a little bit when we were talking about my cousin dying. Anyway, he interrupts me, starts yelling at me, he starts cussing me, he's calling me names, and now it's getting worse than what he has done before. And this ain't the first time me and my dad's argued. This is now the third time over the past 9 years. Well, guess what? 3 strikes and you're out, bud. I'm not going to deal with it no more. I was the bigger man the last 2 times we got into it, and I went to him and made things right. I squashed it. And anyway, at the end of this phone call with my dad, he said something that I'll never forget. And it's really hurtful. But he pretty much said, F you. I don't ever want to see you again. And I'm okay. I know that's anger talking. But this last thing that he said, he might as well just, like, I guess put a bullet in my head, because that's how freaking low I felt. But what I had going on with him was between me and him. He had no reason to bring anybody else into it. But he basically told me, you need to get over your mom. She's been gone for many years, and you just need to I know about all that was going on, which I didn't know, because I guess he watched the video and me and him hadn't talked about it. But right after that, hold on. People deal with trauma in different ways. Some people are able to get over it quickly and some don't. I was a kid when it happened, and I just relived it 30 years later. There's no way I'm just going to get over it. I wish I could just magically say that and that would happen. But anyway, he tells me just to get over it and move on with my life already. Anyway, after that, the last thing he said before he hung up on me was that he wished that I would die, and so would my wife and my kids. And then he hung up on me. And that was the last thing I heard. There was no reason for him to bring my family into this. It had nothing to do with mine and his argument. But don't wish my kids dead or my wife. That's bullshit. So anyway, when I was 26 is when I first met him. And I knew I'd missed out on my real dad for 26 years. It'd be nice to have the next 26 years be good years. And every couple of years, I got into an argument. But this is, no, I'm done. Like, when you say that, we're finished. I know I need to forgive him. I'm just not ready to yet. And I know, don't even try to tell me. I've been talking to my therapist about all this stuff. I will eventually, but not right now because I'm still too hurt and bitter by it. Anyway, that wasn't right for him to do that. And I know he's probably just saying things to hurt me. Well, he definitely did. It wasn't pleasant. I'll tell you that. That was probably the worst emotional pain I think I've ever felt in my entire life. Because I cried for the next 30 minutes to an hour, like nonstop. I was able to finally, collect myself and, gather myself together, whatever. Anyway, a lot of that happened once I got home. I was already in the driveway. So if you're thinking, man, you were driving, no, I was on the phone with him for about maybe 15 minutes before I got to the house. And then, I was sitting in the driveway during the rest of that conversation. So I was at least safe, at the house. In the car. I didn't get out and come inside. I stayed in the vehicle while on the phone with him, but I did come in bawling. Anyway, fast forward. If you watch some of my recent videos, I have been working on a Battleship Texas project. I am helping save the battleship by doing a project to give back to the battleship that's going to be donated from my skills and going into an auction. The auctions, they help raise funds to the repair costs of the ship. Me with about 150 other artisans, blacksmiths, bladesmiths, woodworkers, jewelry makers, all kinds of artisans, so to say. Anyway, I've put in a little over 50 hours of work and about $500 worth of material into this project. I followed the rules exactly like you're supposed to. The instructions on the epoxy, and my project failed on me. I was pissed about it because I felt like it was such a waste. It's due by the end of this year, which is basically 2 weeks away. And I had already spent so much time getting it perfect because me being now a machinist, going through machining school doesn't make me a machinist, but anyway, I'm a perfectionist, and I had everything what I thought to be dead perfect, and I followed the instructions right, and they still failed on me, and it broke. Just go look at that. I think I posted it about, I don't know, last week on Monday or Tuesday, which was like the 5th or 6th of December. I was pretty pissed. Anyway, I have to go to Plan B, which I have another idea that I'm about to start working on to kind of salvage what I can out of that project to still turn in something in the amount of time I have left, which is 2 more weeks to get it to submit it. Anyway, I was on the phone last week with my therapist. I had a counseling appointment, and he asked how I was doing, and I've talked to him every 2 to 3 weeks this entire year, so I always keep him up to date. He knows about the situation with Sean in Arizona, the whole thing, reliving my mama trauma. He knows about my dad being a jerk. And then it hit me. And I was like, man, I can't keep hiding behind this fake smile that I put on for everybody to see. And it finally hit me, and I just broke down, and I started bawling to him, and I told him what was really going on. And I feel like throughout this year, from like April till now, that I've just been attacked let me back up here. When I got back from Arizona, I quit going to church unintentionally. I just was too tired, had headaches, or just was out of town because I did go to some playoff baseball games and stuff like that. Um, and the devil's, talking in my ears over here. No, you don't need to go to church. You ain't got to be there physically to, be a part of church. And I, of course, let that get to me. And I was asked to come referee the Turkey Bowl that we hosted. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, because I enjoy refereeing football. And so I went back, and that was the day I started going back, which is the day after Veterans Day. So I've been back now for a month. And I had some guys finally reach out to me after they noticed I was basically AWOL for 3 or 4 months. Where you been, man? We miss you. And I didn't realize that people did, but they did. And so it was really cool to feel that, love. Um, I just wish they would have reached out a little bit sooner. But I'm glad that they did, and I'm glad I'm back in church. Anyway, all of those situations I feel like have been losses this year, and I blame Satan for it. I blame myself for not being strong and disciplined to stay in the Word and to stay with my accountability partners and to not let the devil win. But that's where I'm weak. And anyway, all these things have been happening to me, and I feel like God's allowing it to because maybe it's His way of saying, hey, you're choosing other things over me. And if you would choose me, then maybe your life wouldn't be as bad. Or if you reach out sooner or to the right people and talk to your brothers and sisters in Christ, that maybe they can help you through these things so they're not as bad or as intense. And I realized this a week ago when I was talking to my therapist on the phone. And I said, I know why all these bad things keep happening to me. Is because I'm not doing my part as a Christian. And I've allowed, Satan's distractions and deceptions to get to me. And as a result, all these things are happening. And I feel like this is just like a hint, like a little, prick here and there, but they're, to me, kind of major of God's way of saying, look, I'm trying to get your attention. Pay attention before it gets worse. And hello, after getting out of the hospital yesterday, this is a wake-up call. All that stuff that's been happening, the depression, of course, has caused me to eat bad, and I've ate bad over the years anyway. But I ate worse, and I ate a lot more, and I've gone broke buying junk. I drink a little bit more than I used to, but not a lot. I mean, I used to drink 1 or 2 beers at a time, but now I started drinking 3 to 4. But that would be it. I don't really drink a lot because I have liver issues. Anyway, all that being said, now we're going into the medical side of things. I have a high cholesterol. I have a fatty liver from the things that I eat. I get all that because of the depression. And all the depression because of all the crap that's going on. And yeah, I blame Satan for the most part, but because I'm not strong enough. So in a way, yeah, it's my own discipline or lack of. And so anyway, the high cholesterol, of course, kind of constricts your arteries and makes it harder for your blood to pump. And this entire year, every time I would go get vitals, my blood pressure was super high. And I guess last week my son punched me in the nuts, and that hurt. He punched me so hard that I started peeing blood, and that wasn't pleasant. And I thought I had a UTI. I don't think it was actually a UTI, though. I think it was actually a kidney stone from the crap that I've drank. When I did get an MRI, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm not allowed to get an MRI. A CAT scan. When I got a CAT scan a few months ago, it did show that I had a stone in my kidney. It just didn't pass yet. And I guess a few months ago, it probably passed down in my bladder and just sitting in the bladder chilling. I think up until my son hit me. I think when my son hit me, probably caused some disruption down there, and it came out, I'm assuming. Anyway, the pain was still there a week later, so that's why I went to the hospital yesterday to go get checked for UTI. At the time, I thought it was UTI. I figured it out last night, or no, actually today, this morning, that UTI was probably not a UTI. It's probably a kidney stone because it all kind of made sense and came to me now. So anyway, I go in for what I thought was a UTI, some pain, and they checked my vitals and said your blood pressure is way too high. So go get checked out. So I go to the ER, and of course, my blood pressure was 175 over 125. It's like double the normal limits. And come to find out that the blood pressure is really high due to stress. I've overwhelmed myself this year with all the stuff that I've been doing. School, kids, volunteering at my kids' school or the rodeo or coaching baseball, on the honor guard. I've done a lot, and I just don't like to get bored. So I stay occupied, I stay busy, I stay distracted. And that's how I've lived my life. I'm always doing something because I hate sitting still. And I think, when I got to the hospital yesterday, this was like my body's way of saying, dude, stop, chill out, and just relax for a while. And so that's why I said it was a wake up call. When I got to the hospital, I had a doctor tell me that I was on the verge of a stroke or a heart attack. And I'm like, dude, I'm 36. How's that? Look what you're doing. All this crap that you're doing, you're causing your body stress, and your heart can't keep up. You're basically working it into overload, and you don't have the coolant to chill. So I'm basically forcing myself to chill out now. Anyway, blood sugar was okay. I'm not diabetic, which is good, but there is a fatty liver. There was blood in my urine. I do have a high blood pressure, so they said most likely from my son hitting me, that probably just bruised it, and that's why there's some blood in there. There probably most likely was a kidney stone that passed, and I think when it passed, it was bigger than the others that I've had before because it stings on the inside, the urethra tube. Look it up later. I'm not going to explain it to you. Look up the urethra tube. And I think that stone was so big when it passed through, it just sliced from the inside out. Like if you can put a needle in the inside of a straw and just cut from the inside out, I think that's what happened because it stings. It still stings. It burns. And so now I'm doing some of these remedies to help combat that. But anyway, I woke up this morning and I was in some more pain. And so I took a hot bath. I took some pain medicines, and I felt fine after that. So as of right now, I feel okay. The pain has subsided. It doesn't sting as much as it was over the last week. And I got to chill. All of that being said, yes, I do need to rest and take it easy. But I think it was a lack of my discipline, but also because the closer I got to God, the harder the devil came in to attack me. And he won. He's so deceiving and makes everything sound so good. It's like marketing, advertising. People will tell you why you need this and that, or it looks so good, and you go out and get it, and it's not even good for you. It's unhealthy. Guess what? While you're depressed, you go eat all the bad crap. You know it's not good for you, but you do it because of good advertising, great marketing. Devil does the same damn thing. And he won. He won me over, and it has now affected my health. So, all that being said, I'm glad it wasn't worse. And it has taken me, I guess, this entire year to realize that I need to stay true to my God and stay disciplined. Don't let the devil win. Reach out to my buddies that will guide me the right way, and that a way that my situations won't be as bad as they are or were, and it be easier to get through these life situations. But mental health has taken a plummet, and so has my physical health, and it sucks. So there's a lot of changes that are about to start happening because I can't keep living like this. I got to slow down. I got to focus on me. I need some, not me time, but self-care. I got to take care of myself so I can take care of others. So I'm about to start setting some more boundaries, and my New Year's resolutions are going to start a little bit sooner now, because I can't keep doing this. I got to focus on myself, my mental health, my physical health, my spiritual health, and my emotional health. And once I get all those lined up and continue staying strong in all those areas, then I can help other people out. So that's kind of what's been going on. I just didn't realize it until yesterday. Like, emotional health hit me last week on the with the therapist, but then the physical health hit me yesterday when I was in the hospital. And I'm just glad that this wake up call wasn't worse. I mean, I literally could have had a stroke or a heart attack, and that scares the living hell out of me. Because my mom had a heart attack at 29, and that's what killed her. But she also had drugs in her system too. I don't do that, so at least I limited that. But my grandpa, he was a pretty good dude and didn't really do anything. Put stuff in his body that he shouldn't have. I mean, maybe some fried food here and there and sodas, but he smoked a little bit. But he ended up having a stroke, you know. And when this doctor told me yesterday that I was on the verge of a stroke or heart attack, it scared me. I don't want my kids to have to go through what I went through. I know what it's like to grow up without a parent. And so I'm listening, God. Loud and clear. I heard you. Jeez, why I gotta be so stubborn? You know, don't procrastinate. Don't be stubborn. When God's trying to get your attention, listen. Because it could be way worse, you know. And this time I'm listening. Anyway, as of right now, I'm feeling okay. Things are okay right now. And if you're still in here listening, I appreciate you staying on. Thank you. If you need me, reach out. But I think in the New Year's, I'm deleting all my social media because I got to focus on me. So in the New Year's, if you want to get a hold of me, contact me directly. If you ain't got my number, ask for it, and I'll give it to you. Anyway, thanks for listening and checking out my latest, up-to-datest update. All right, y'all take care. Have a good day, y'all. See ya.